Hello, I'm Andrew Blount. I'm the mayor of Laguna Hills and I'm running for governor of California. Look around you at this absolutely beautiful California Delta. Today I'm here to talk with you about money and campaign contributions. For years, people have kept track of the score on whether a candidate is going to win an election or not by how much money they're able to raise. If a candidate raises a whole lot of money and a ton of money and they're the front runner with regards to their fundraising, they are surely going to get elected. The person that doesn't raise any money and is way down here, wow, they don't have a chance at all of getting elected. And the gal that's somewhere in between, well, she may be a hopeful, but chances are she's not gonna get in. Well, I'm going to win this governorship of California, and I'm going to do it without raising or spending large sums of money. I won't be having large fundraising events that are $10,000 or $5,000 or even $500 in order to come and have dinner with me. I won't be selling photos with me and you. It's $500 to come and take a picture, or $2,500 or $5,000, depending on how well the perception is on whether I'm doing good or not within this race. If you'd like to have a photo with me, find one on my website and add yourself to it. Just Photoshop yourself right on into it and you can have a photo with me. There's no need for you to make a large contribution in order to get a photo with me. As far as self-funding, I'm not going to do that either. My wife and I, we have one thing we spend money on each year, and that's our Christmas lights. We are one of the most toured homes in the entire United States of America for any purpose. Every year, tens and tens of thousands of people at no cost come through our home to see our Christmas lights extravaganza, to see our winter wonderland that we create. You may have seen it before on YouTube or on television. Well, that's us, and so that's where our funds go, and they're not going here into this election. And so that you may wonder then, well, Andrew, you're the underdog, because if perception is that you have to have a lot of money in order to get elected, how on earth are you going to do it? Well, there's two ways that are going to happen. There's two things that are going to happen that'll get me elected. The first one is new media. Now, there's this thing that we have that's called the internet. You have email, you have a cell phone, you probably text. You might have Facebook or Twitter, you might be on Instagram or Pinterest. There's lots of ways for me to be able to communicate with you on a one-on-one basis. And if there weren't enough already, I'm creating one myself that's called Skidoo, that allows me to be able to have volunteers that are out talking with folks too and sharing the message. No longer do you have to spend tons of money on sending out mailers and television advertising and radio ads and billboards to get a message out. There's lots of new ways to do it that are really inexpensive. The second is, I have always been great at being the underdog. When I was 4 years old, I wasn't supposed to be able to talk. I had a really difficult time putting words together and went through a lot of speech therapy just to be able to be talking with you right here today. Later, I started my first software company when I was 8 years old, and I competed against people selling database software that were a lot better funded than me, and a lot better than me, and certainly a lot older than me, and I was the underdog there and did pretty well too. I was the underdog when I met this beautiful woman who became my wife named Michelle. She happened to be dating somebody at the time, and I had to woo her away. I came in as the underdog, and I succeeded, and her and I are happily married today. I was the underdog with the birth of my daughter. We only had a 2% chance of having a daughter. That was it. She was an in vitro baby. There was some problems there, and we weren't supposed to be able to have this child together. And we were able to add faith to our family so that her brother Ethan has a sister, and I have a daughter, and Michelle has a daughter too. And that was against odds to where we only had a 2% chance. I am really good at being the underdog. So then you ask yourself, well, why is it that you want to be able to remove money out of the process? And there's one reason, and it's called corruption. Now, There's a form of corruption that gets a lot of publicity, and you see it on television when there's a politician that's carried away with handcuffs behind his back, and that's called political favors. You donate money to somebody, you give them a trip, and they vote on something for you, and guess what? That's illegal, and that happens. But the majority of politicians, they're not corrupt in that way, not in the slightest. I know a lot of folks that are in elected office, and they're good people. They're really good individuals. But there's another form of corruption that creeps its way in, and it happens with political contributions, and it's called access. In this campaign, you can donate $27,200 per person to me. That means that for a family of 4, if you have 2 college-age kids, you can put over $100,000 right into a campaign for somebody that's running for governor. What happens is that gets you into that person's cell phone. If you need to call them, there's a good chance that they're going to answer. In fact, they may be calling you the next time that they need to raise funds, or the next time they need dollars for a different type of election or an event. And that gives you access that other people don't have, which is wrong. If I'm able to disintermediate money out of the entire process of somebody becoming elected, you can remove that type of access, which would allow for freedom and equality right here in California, to where the person that didn't have any money to donate, the person that may not have even voted for somebody, still has the same access as the person that wanted to put $100,000 into somebody's campaign, or had the ability to be able to put that money into that campaign. There's a lot of folks that run for office on single issues, be it taxes or trains, either one. Well, I'm running on an issue that's much broader than that. I'm running on an issue that is really important, and it's about the removal of corruption out of politics, the removal of favors, and the removal of access. It doesn't matter which party you belong to. If you're a Republican, you can certainly vote for me. If you're a Democrat, you can vote for me too. If you're a Libertarian, you can vote for me. And if you're undeclared or declined to state, you can vote for me too. On June 3rd, I'm going to be on your ballot. And then again on November 4th, I'll be on your ballot again. But I need your vote. I need your vote to be able to get elected. And we need to be able to demonstrate to the state of California, to the United States, and to the world that we no longer want this type of corruption, which is political access. What else can you do? Well, in addition to voting for me, you can share this video on Facebook. You can email it to your friends. You can put it up onto Twitter. You can put a Pinterest onto it. Any sort of social media you happen to have. If you can help get the word out, that's great, because I'm certainly not going to be spending money in order to be able to do it. In 2014, this is going to be a historic year. This is going to be a vote that goes down into the history books. 20 years from now or 50 years from now, your grandkids are going to be saying, "Grandma, which side of the issue were you on? Were you a believer? Did you believe that we could remove the money out of politics so that leaders could get elected without having to be able to raise huge sums of money, thereby giving people political access? Or were you the person that just sat around and said, well, the way it's been is fine, and we don't need to change things?" I hope that you're on the side of change. I hope that you're on the side of truth. I hope that you're on the side of removing political access. A vote for me will do that. A vote for me will show the world. I'm Andrew Blount, and I'm running for governor of California.